So today we are going to learn about like the prototypal inheritance. Okay. So we'll start that. So here I'm going to create one object called obj1 is equal to, and here this is one object literal. Okay. So first property I'm going to add here as, let's say, name, and I'm giving here as Steve. Fine. And here I'm going to add one method, that is get name. Okay. And it is going to print console.log this dot name. Okay, it will print what? The name. Okay, and get emp code, that is nothing but employee code. So here I'm going to again return this emp code. Okay, console.log. Okay, console.log, or instead of this console.log, what I'm going to do is I will write return. Okay, and here as well return. Okay, so here I'm going to do what, just will print that object. So what will be the output? Tell me, Himanshu, Prerna. It is going to print that object. Unexpected identifier, and where is that? Okay, sorry, here I need to put a comma. That's fine. Okay, so it is going to print the object. Here we have this object. So what if I'll call the obj.name, obj.name, it will print a Steve. If I'll call obj.getName, then also we'll get the Steve. But what if I'm going to call here get emp code? You will get what? Undefined, because here emp code is not there. Okay, so in that case we will see here we are not able to use that. Now second thing here, what I'm going to do here, I'll write obj2. Okay, another object here we have. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is here we have let's say emp code. Okay, emp code, and let's say 1 2 3 4. Here we have this emp code, and now if I'll try to access here, just let's say obj2 dot get emp code, obj2 dot get emp code, is not a function because here it is not defined. So what if you want to use this one here? So in that case, if you will see here, simply if I'm going to print the obj2, we have already learned about these things about prototype. So for every, what we say, every object there will be a underscore underscore proto underscore underscore under prototype. So that is here. So here you can see constructor has one property is prototype of, these methods are there, those methods are predefined. What if you want to inherit this method? Okay, this method and this method from here, then simply what you need to do, you need to write that property here, proto underscore underscore, and here you need to use just obj1. Now if you will see inside prototype, here you have get emp code method as well and get name method as well. Okay, and again inside that we have a prototype of that obj1 Okay, so that's how you can use it. And if you want to just here you have a function, okay, emp code, and inside this prototype, see here you have that prototype of that particular function. So directly you are not able to call this, okay, because here we have get emp code obj1 dot get emp code inside prototype. So you are overwriting that here, okay. So directly you need to call the entire object here. Then you have here one object, and inside object, if you will open the prototype, you have here get emp code as well as get name. So simply if you will write obj2 dot get name in this case, okay, get name. So here as you can see, it is referring that object only. But how it is referring that object? You know, here we have this prototype. In this prototype, we have added this object, complete object. So it is not getting here directly that name value. So it is going to this obj1 prototype and checking what is the value of name. If it is there, it will print. In case if we have here directly a name property in this object as well as Smith, so it will not go up directly, it will print a Smith here only because here it is able to find the name property in this object itself. Okay, so we are able to inherit the method as well as this property name also. Okay, that you can see here by using this proto. So in this property, just I have added here obj1. So this is the first way that you can use, just to use like the prototypal inheritance by using object. Another way is also there that you can use, and that is nothing but constructor method. So another way also here we have, okay, so by using constructor method I'll show you. So for that one, first let me comment all these things. Another way is constructor method. So I'm going to create here a function called proto. And why I'm writing here in caps, because I'm going to use this, I'm going to use this method, sorry, function as a constructor function. So here I will use, let's say, for example, this dot name is equal to name. And here the parameter I'm going to pass as name. Okay. So when I want to use, okay, I want to use what? Let me do one thing. First, I'll create one object called user. okay, is equal to, and here I have to use new. You know what actually it does? It does four things. We already have discussed about these things. So I'm going to use here proto as a constructor call, and here also that is proto. And here we have to pass one argument. As you can see, it is expecting one parameter here. So I'm going to pass here as Dan. So now if you will use here the simply the console.log to print that one, console.log and user. So it is going to print the complete object. You see, complete object name Dan. If you will type simply user dot name, you will get what? Dan. So this is the basic thing that we have already learned in the previous session, like how to create an object by using constructor call. Okay, but what if you have to utilize this method as well? Let's say if you have here this one name as a Steve, okay, and get name this dot name, this one if you want to inherit. So what you have to do, simply you need to write that proto dot prototype is equal to obj1. Okay, and now if you are going to write simply here user dot, okay, get name, you'll get that, as you can see here. Okay, in case if you're not passing here any name, one sec, you're getting what? Undefined, because here you're not passing any name. Okay, so here you can see that even though I have not defined this get name function in this proto, I'm able to use that method by using this proto.prototype and obj. So obj I have defined inside the prototype of this particular constructor function. So that's why we are able to use here user dot get name. Okay, is that clear, everyone? So this is all about prototypal inheritance. By using this proto underscore underscore proto underscore underscore, you can inherit actually the another objects, methods, and any properties. Okay, and another way here we have seen by using the constructor call also we can inherit. Okay, so now the next thing here we are going to learn about classes, ES6 classes. So do you have any question here, Himanshu, Prerna?
No, sir. It's clear.
Okay, okay, fine. So now we are going to learn about ES6 or simply classes. Okay, so have you used this ES6 class before anywhere? So this is kind of syntactic sugar, means behind the scene, if you will see, this is like a function only, but this is a new way to write here. The syntax they have changed. Okay, so if you will write, let's say here you have a function demo. Okay, here you have a function, and if you will check here that console.log type of demo, you will get what? Function. Okay, you will get function. And for class, there is a syntax, two different syntax you can use actually. So the first way is, as we have learned about the function declaration, and another one is function expression. So likewise, we have here for class also class declaration and class expression, both we can use. Okay, so the first way is, as we declare a function, so here you can see we use what keyword? Function keyword. So to declare a class, first you have to use this class keyword and then class name as we use for the functions. So class here I'm going to use, let's say, person. Okay, in method or in function we use this parents, but here in class we are not going to use any parents here, just curly braces just to open that class, and to close this class here we have a closing curly brace. Okay, so this is the syntax, basic syntax to declare a class. First you need to use a class keyword, then class name, and this is known as class declaration. Another way here we have, that is, let's say if you are going to use like var, okay, and person is equal to, simply you need to write class keyword here and then this. Okay, so, and no need to put here comma, sorry, here comma, this is a semicolon, sorry, semicolon, but here you can put a semicolon because this is a class expression. Okay, so that you can use. Now if you will check here, type of what? Person. Person has already been declared. Okay, two times. So you are getting function only. Okay, so internally class is also a function if you will check type. So we are not going to use this function class expression. We are going to use what? Class declaration for this demonstration. So this is nothing but oops concept which we are going to learn here. So in this we will see like how to declare a class, how to use a constructor, and how to add any method inside a prototype of its class, how to create an object, how to use like private protected properties and public properties also, and fields also. We will see what is the private fields, private methods, and public methods and public fields, that also we will see. Okay, so we'll start with the normal class declaration. So first you need to write class. Okay, and then here I'm going to give a name for this class as a person. Okay, now here you have to use a constructor in it. Okay, if you want to create an object, simply, let's say here we have var. Okay, obj is equal to, so in function what we were doing, first we were creating a constructor function, but here we are creating a class. Then we are calling here again the same story, new keyword, and then that person. Okay, now if you will see here, simply if you will try to print that obj, you will be able to see what exactly happening here. So when I'm trying to print obj, you will get an empty object. Okay, here you have an empty object. Let's say here we have a field called name. So here we have a property. It's been added here. You can see the value is undefined because you have not passed any value. Then you will add, let's say, age. That is also been added here as a property. Simple. So whatever you will add, okay, that will be considered as the property of that object. We will see uh, many more things here in classes, how to create fields. Okay, these are known as fields. Okay, I'm going to comment this. So as I said, okay, because here whatever you have, we are not able to pass any value right now directly. You need to write here some value in it. Let's say name is equal to Steve, age is equal to 32, then you will get here this object, isn't it? So we are not going to use this one. These are the normal fields. But if you want to create a dynamic object every time, what you have to do? So in that case, you have to make use of a constructor. Simply you have to write here a constructor as a method and open and close curly brace. If you want to pass any argument at the time of creation of this object here, so those parameters here you have to pass in the constructor as well. Let's say the first one I'm going to pass as a name, comma, age. Okay, name, comma, age. Fine. So here, if you remember, we have already learned about the constructor function. So we were setting here as a this dot, whatever property name you want to keep, name, the same thing which we have learned in the prototypes, name, and is equal to this parameter, whatever value you will receive at the time of object creation, that I'm going to store it here. And this dot age is equal to same whatever parameter value you will receive in age, that I'm going to assign here. Now if you will create like this, you will get again undefined and undefined for name and age, because you are not passing any argument here for this constructor call. So now I'm going to call here Dan, comma 27. So now you are getting this object. So as many objects you want to create, okay, you can create here by using this constructor call, and you need to store every time in a new variable. So this is the basic structure here to create any object. Now, second thing here we have, that is like if you want to add some method, okay, if you want to add some method, so you can use like this. The first way, get name, okay, is equal to function this. First I'm going to return this one, okay, return this dot name. So it is going to point to that name, and here if you will write simply obj dot get name, call this, you will get done. Okay, but if you will see here one thing, again this is not the best practice actually. If you will print this object, so every time if you will create an object, there is a function method attached to it. So overall here, the performance, if you are going to create like 1,000 objects or 2,000 objects or 1 lakh objects, at the time what will happen, for every object there will be a different get name, but the same functionality will be there. Means it is going to return what? It is going to return the user name. Okay, so it is not a best practice that to attach a method with the constructor. Okay, means if you will declare that function here as a property inside a constructor, that will be attached to a newly created object that we have already seen in the prototype as well. So it is always better to keep whatever method you have in the prototype of any constructor function. So here also, if you will write the same thing, get name, okay, get name, and then return this dot name. To access any property of that object, you need to use this. So same, now if you are going to use obj, here we do not have that get name, so where it is then? So we will check the prototype. Here we have inside prototype it is declared. So it means whatever method you are going to declare inside a class that will be added in the prototype of that particular constructor function, or you can say that particular class prototype. Is that clear? So here, whatever you are adding as a field, normal field, that will be added as an object property. But here, if whatever method you are going to declare, that will not be added as a property of that particular object. It will be added in that prototype of that object. Okay. So whenever you want, you can use this one. So once only you need to define it, and whenever you want to use, you can inherit it from the prototype of the object. Okay. So this is the basic thing, that you can declare a constructor function and how to declare our normal fields and how to add a new method in it. Is that clear, everyone? Manchu, Prerna?
Sir, here if I want to define the constructor, if someone asks define constructor here, what should I answer?
What? I didn't get you actually, what you are
Uh,
asking.
I'm asking that if someone asks me about constructor, this,
Hmm.
so how can I define?
What is constructor?
Yes.
So constructor, see, the same class I'm going to write here in a normal constructor function way. So simply what you have, we were doing, if you remember, we were doing the function person, and here we are expecting what? Two
Argument.
parameters. So here I'm going to add a name, comma, age. Okay. And whatever property you want to add in that newly created object, okay, after a constructor call, that you have to set it here. So this dot name is equal to what? Name. And this dot age is equal to what? Same age. So whatever this constructor function is doing here, the same thing it is doing here as well. Okay. But what we have done, we have replaced these things by using a constructor keyword itself. Okay. So here constructor is also creating a new object.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now you know how to declare a method, how to create an object in class, isn't it? One more thing you need to remember, classes will not be hosted. Okay. If you are declaring a class here like person, and if you will try to create another variable by using this, like here the same way, if you will use here person, you will get error. Okay. Because it will tell you like this one is already been declared. And always these things will be created inside a use strict mode only, so that you need to remember. Okay. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And here whatever method here we have defined, that will be added to the prototype of that particular constructor function or for this object, that you need to remember. Now the next thing here we are going to learn about, that is set exactly the setters and getters are. So here in classes only setters and getters we will see. I will comment all these things here. It's better to use here only. Okay, here only I'll use then. Setters and getters, I'm going to explain you. So let's say here, if you want to access this get name, okay, get name. So what you have to write here, obj dot get name, and then again you have to call it, isn't it? Then you are getting what? Done. But what if you want to use this one as a normal property? Okay, and this will be more secured as well. Like whatever the get name value is there as per the evaluation, means after calling this method internally, you will get that value. So directly, if you want to use this method as a property name, normal property like object dot get name or obj dot simply name, like this, okay, like this, if you want to use, so then you can use setters and getters. And mainly we use this one for the like data validation thing, okay. So that we will see practically, but first we are going to learn about like how to declare a setter and getter, okay. So first, if you want to set a like normal setter or getter, there are two keywords that you need to use. So you need to use get. If you want to make any method as a getter, you need to use what? Get. And there will not be any, there will be no parameter for that particular method. Okay. So here now what I'm going to do is simply, if I'm writing now obj dot get name, you are getting done. Now no need to as add a parenthesis. Okay. To call that function immediately, if you'll call obj dot get name, you'll get that. But here you do not have that facility to call like this, okay. You will get error. Even though if you are getting error like this, means you cannot pass any value here, isn't it? So that is also one benefit. Simply you can use like this a normal property, okay. Second thing, this is for getters. If you want to create, if you want to create a setter only for that particular thing, so what you can do is here, here you have to return this dot name. Okay, what you have to do is for setter, simply you need to write set. Which method you want to set, the same thing you need to write here. Copy this one, okay. And here it is going to expect at least, means maximum, you can say the one parameter. So here I'm going to write simply name, okay, simply name. So here if I'm writing like this, you are getting name as a Dan. But if you will add a parameter over here and you will pass here as a Steve, okay. One second. For that, what you have to do, not return. Here I'm going to write like this dot name is equal to whatever name I'm passing, that should be assigned here. So here I'm going to pass Steve now. Obj dot get name is not a function. One second. One second. I did something wrong here. Hmm, why I'm getting this one? This dot name setter, here we can set it as like, one second. One second. Why I'm not able to get this one? I'm doing some mistake over here. Are you guys able to find? Am I doing something wrong? Let me check here status and getters. MDN. One second, guys. Person.lang. Hey, that's what. Sorry. So here I was calling this one as name is equal to, now I have to write it here as, let's say, Steve. Okay, so now I'm getting a Steve, no? That syntactic mistake I was doing in assignment. That's why it was not happening. So here we are able to set it now. Okay, so if you will comment this one here, still you are getting that, isn't it? So why it is happening? Here we are able to set the obj.getName is equal to Steve. So we can do like that configuration, if you remember, flag property, writable, configurable, and enumerable. By using that, we can restrict that. But here, by using this setters and getters, we can do data validation. So I'm going to show you one example. So this is just, you can assume this one as a like syntax. So the same thing, setters and getters you can use here, just obj.getName, no need to add any like parents here. And maximum it is going to accept just one parameter here, because at a time we can assign just one value in it. Okay, that's why. So I'm going to show you here like how we can do a data validation. So for that one, I'm going to create another class. Okay, another class as, let's say, employee. Okay, and in this one I'm going to create one constructor, and constructor in this one I'm expecting two things. Let's say here I'm going to add a full name. Okay, full name, and then I'm going to add age. So this dot full name is equal to full name. The first thing I have added here. The second one I'm going to add here, this dot age is equal to, here I'm going to create one setter or getter. Okay, I'm going to add here like get name, or emp name. So what it is going to do, simply I want to return what, whatever full name here we have. So return, to target that particular object property, you need to use this dot full name. Okay, semicolon. Now I'm going to create here where EMP means employee, new employee, and what we have to pass here, we have to pass two things as a full name and age. So full name, I'm going to pass here MTH Danish, and age I'm going to pass here as 27, let's say. Okay, and we'll print here console.log what EMP. So here I'm getting what you can see, the employee details like age is 27 and full name is MTH Danish. Fine. I'm going to create one setter for the validation purpose. So we know like how to create a setter. So setter, if you want to create, first you need to use one set keyword and the same method name here you need to use. So I'm going to copy the same method. Okay. And here I'm going to paste it. Now we are going to implement the inner validation code. So what we have to do here, I have to write here like first, if we will set any name in this, okay, if we will set any name in this, then first we have to validate. Okay, we have to validate what? In if condition, we need to validate that if name, we have learned about this includes, okay, includes method in a string. Okay, if this one includes one space, okay, if it includes a space, then here what you have to do is you have to return this dot full name, okay, is equal to, you have to set, sorry, this dot full name is equal to whatever name you are passing. Okay, else if this is not the case, then what you have to do, you have to write like one message console.log. Okay, console.log, mm, here we can say this is not your full name, please provide your full name. Fine, we'll save this one. Okay, here I'm going to write what template string we can use directly. Your full name is this dot full name. So here you can see right now I'm calling simply EMP. So EMP, and now I'm going to get here EMP dot EMP name. So EMP name is what? Right now MTH Danish. But what if I'm going to pass here Dan? Now see the message. This is not your full name. Please provide your full name. And name is here Dan. It is printing. Okay. Because it is returning here directly that. So if I'll keep like this, Steve Smith. So here it is containing at least one space in between these two words. So it is going to return your full name is Steve Smith. Okay, so for these type of validation, okay, you can use setters and getters. Any question you have? Do you have any question in this one?
That's mean mainly it is used for a validation purpose,
Data validation
data
purpose
validation.
mainly, and for security reason also, like if someone is going to pass like some unexpected value in API, you are using any API, and you have like one method called get name or set name. If someone will set like by mistake something else, so just to avoid that, simply you can use that property name like obj dot get name, or here you can display your name directly, no need to call it. You can use this one like as a normal property.
Okay.
Yeah. So next thing here we have like what is a static method. So in real time, if you have seen, uh, normally when we use like one array and then dot, we have so many methods on it, isn't it? But some methods are there directly inside a constructor function like array dot from is array length name of prototype, isn't it? So directly it is inside a constructor function, and this is not accessible directly for each and every array. Okay, so like that, if you want to hide something, okay, then you can use a static keyword. So here I'm going to create one class again, class called person. Okay, okay, person, and here I'm going to use simply a constructor. I'm not going to use multiple thing right now because just I wanted to show you here what how a static method works. This dot name is equal to whatever name you are passing at the runtime. Okay, and here static get name, one method is there. Just to create one static method, you need to use a static keyword. For setter, you have to use set. For getter, you have to use get. For class, you have to use class. For function, you have to use function. Okay, so now here I'm going to return whatever name you are passing. In this case, I'm not just going to show you like the real time thing. Here we do not have that scenario. Just I'm showing you how actually a static will work. So here I'm going to use this dot name, means it is going to return that name. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create var use that constructor call person, and we'll pass here a name called Dan. Okay, and here I'm going to print that user. Okay, here we will see that user. So here we have that Dan, and if you'll expand it in prototype, you will be able to see where is that. Here we have class person. In constructor, we have get name. Okay, in constructor function it is there, but not in prototype directly. So how to use this one? If you want to directly print the name of this particular object, so directly you cannot use here, right? In this case, for this specific object, user dot something. Okay, so for that, what you have to do, controls it, user dot get name. If you will try to use, you will not be able to call this directly from here. Get name is a not a function. So what you have to do, instead of user dot get name, here simply you need to write person dot get name and call this. Then you are getting what here, this dot name for that particular what, here you are getting for this class, because the by default, if you will expand, I'll show you why you are getting this. So here, if I will write this one person, so person dot name, if you will type no, so by default name will be person only because it is returning the class of this particular what we say, this class actually it is returning. So here directly you have to call it, not like this. In this case, instead of returning this name, I will show you just for demonstration. Console dot log, hey, it's working. Okay, this is working. So directly you cannot call with that specific user because this is inside a constructor function and you cannot call it. So this is like, you can say like that you can use. It is not accessible to each and every object. So if you want to create like this any method which is not accessible to any object directly, then you can create a static method. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Now, yeah, so if you want to use that get name, you have to declare it where in prototype. We are going to learn about now how to use inheritance in classes. Okay, so here I'm going to create one class called again person. Okay, and we'll create a constructor. We'll and we'll set it here. This dot name is equal to name. Okay, and here I'm going to use some method. Okay, that is get name, get name. Okay, just one thing. So prototypal inheritance we have seen, but in class how we are going to use the inheritance concept, that I'm going to show you. So here get name means here will return this dot name. Simply we will return the name. So here where, okay, user one, okay, user one is a, let's say, simply, yeah, user one is equal to, we need to use that constructor call person. We have to pass here what, name, dan, and in console if we will print that user one, okay, user one will get one object called this one, person. If you want to access the name, user one dot get name, you will get the name of that particular person. Fine. What if you have something like this, another class, okay, called player, okay, player. Fine. And in this one also we have again one constructor which is expecting what, name, okay. Another one is player player id, two things. So here we can do what, this dot name is equal to what, name. Okay, and another thing is this dot player id is equal to player id. Okay, and we'll return here get player id. Okay, here I'm going to use return this dot player id. So if you want to create again one another object for this player class, then what you have to use, simply you need to use here this one, player one is equal to constructor call player. Two arguments you need to pass. First one is name, Steve Smith, comma, let's say here this one is id, and you are going to print this one console.log. Okay, console.log, simply you are going to print that player one. So here you have that object. Okay, the first one here you are getting from this. I'm going to comment this one right now. So here you have name as a Steve Smith, player ID is 123 4 5 6. Fine. What if you want to return name as well? I'll use player one dot if you want to get the player ID. One dot player ID, and you'll call this method. That's fine. You're getting. What if you want to access the name also? Do we have any method here? Tell me, to return that name.
No, it is inside person.
It is an inside person. So if you want to inherit this feature from here person to player, what you have to do, just you need to use one keyword called extends. Okay, extends the feature in this class from where?
Person.
From person. Okay, fine. And in this class person, you have a constructor where we are already getting the name. So no need to write it again here, this dot name. Simply you can use one super function here. Okay, it means it will call the person class constructor. Okay, person class constructor. And here what it is going to accept, what it will accept? It will accept the same thing, name. Okay, and then this dot player ID.
What parameter we are passing in constructor? Same parameter we have to pass in super.
Yeah, super. And here now if you will use this one, let's say player one dot, getting that or not? Because we are able to inherit the this uh, method as well. And the same thing here, whatever we are passing from here, the constructor, here we have the same thing here we have to pass. Okay,
Okay,
and
sir.
this is being stored here. So super, you need to write the first thing in this constructor if you are inheriting. If you will try to add this one after this, you will get error. Okay, what it is saying, must call super constructor in derived class before accessing this. Okay, so if you want to access this, you have to use super as a first thing in your constructor function. Okay, if you do not have anything extra, like here also you have name and not player id, so no need to use constructor, simply call super. Okay, and then it will work. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so by using this extend keyword, you can extend the feature of any other class. Okay, now we are going to learn about like how to use a protected or the private. Actually, protected is a just a way of like naming convention that you have to change here. But by using this, what we say, one second, I'll show you here. This private protected things are the part of encapsulation, means you are hiding some information, like how to use a private property or the protected thing. So protected is like just a convention. This is not a real thing. But here the private, we will show you how we can use private things in JavaScript class. Okay, so let's say you have here one second, one example I'll give you, it's better. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one class called bank account. Okay, and in this one I'm going to create one constructor. Okay, and here I'm expecting that whenever you are creating one bank account, okay, so first you need to pass the that account holder name and then pin, two things. So here we can say simply username. Okay, another thing we can pass here as a pin. Okay, so here I'm going to simply write this dot username is equal to username only, and this dot pin is equal to pin. Fine. Now we have to use here some methods. So like if you are going to deposit something, we need to write here, let's say deposit. If you will withdraw something, you have to use here withdraw. Okay, two methods are there. Fine. So if you are going to deposit, whatever amount you will deposit, you need to store it somewhere. So where you are going to store that? So for that one, we have to define here one field. Okay, one field called transactions. Okay, and in form of array, I'm going to take it like we have to trace whatever you are going to do here. Okay, so in deposit means whatever amount you are going to deposit, that will be added here. So simply what you need to do, you need to access that particular transaction, that is a form of array. In that you need to add new value, so push. Okay, so push what? So here you need to pass whatever amount, okay, whatever amount you are giving, that should be pushed inside that array. Okay, and here we have withdraw, the same thing you need to do, okay, in amount only, in amount, in withdraw. So here you need to pass again amount, and you have to write the same thing here. Okay, so in that particular expected, where it is expecting,
Extra colon inside that line. That tilde starting this.
okay, fine. So here we have this one. So two methods are there. Okay, so whatever amount you will deposit, whatever amount you will withdraw, that we need to push here in the transactions record. So if you want to see what are the transactions, what you have to do, show transaction. So just you need to call this method. Okay, and here you need to return, okay, you need to return that array. So what you have to do, this dot transactions. Okay, now I'm going to create one new user account, okay, called user one is equal to new bank account. What it is expecting here, two things. The first one is name of the account holder and then pin. Okay, console.log. Here what I'm going to do is simply I'm going to print the user. So here you will get the back account. Transaction is empty array right now, there's nothing. Username here Dan, pin is 2345. So what if you want to get the transactions? So first one, what you have to do, you have to deposit some amount. So here I'm going to return first show transactions. Show transactions. Okay. So it will one dot, okay, deposit, let's say 300. Okay, 400, 500. Here we have all those transactions. What if you are deduct means sorry, withdrawing some amount? So if you are withdrawing, how you will identify like you have withdrawn? So for that, what you can do, whatever amount you are passing, no, so there you need to add one minus over there. Okay, so now I'm going to withdraw some amount from there. Let's say here withdraw 200. So see here you have the records 300, 400, 500, and minus 200 is there. So Now I'm going to refactor this one. So we are able to deposit, we are able to withdraw, we are able to show the transactions. That is fine. This is the basic functionality. Here you can see that we are using getter. Okay. Now, one thing I want to add here, withdraw and deposit both are doing the same thing. Okay. So can we replace this with this one, deposit, the same thing, amount, but here it should be minus. Is working in the same way, no? So no need to use again this dot transaction dot push. Okay. So we are reusing this method. Till here everything is fine. Okay. Now if you want to make something what uh private, okay, if you want to make something private, because here simply if you are writing, let's say, instead of show transactions, if you will write user one dot transactions, no, you are getting again that array. Okay, you are getting that array. If someone is going to change it from here, let's say user transactions dot push, okay, he will add like 1000. So it is returning what? Here it is returning what? 5. That is total number of transactions. So they have added here. Now instead of here, as you can see, what is happening, someone will try to add that. If they are able to access, no, that transactions array, it is accessible. This is not secure actually. So now if you'll try to check your transactions, no, so here you can see it is been added. Okay, you are not using deposit method, but still you are able to access this. So if you want to protect this transaction, that no one should be able to access this, okay, or if you want to just printing here user one dot pin, you are able to print that pin also. If you want to protect that one as well, then what you have to do, so you need to just use that private property here. And how to use that, so that we are going to see here. So what we will do first, whatever we are doing here, no, here we need to declare one more thing as pin. Okay, pin, I'm not giving here anything, so by default it is undefined. So if you will just add a pound sign or hash sign before that particular field name, it will be a private field. Here also hash. So this is a kind of naming convention, nothing else. Okay, so here now this dot, okay, this dot pin, if you want to change hash pin, is equal to pin. And now I'm going to remove this one for now. This dot transaction here you need to change. So here also you have to add one pound sign. So see, now if I'm adding hash outside this one, so it is saying that is syntax, uncaught syntax error. Private field transaction must be declared in an enclosing class. So now this is a private field. Okay, fine. And if you'll try to change something here, if still you can see, if you are not able to access something, how you will change that, isn't it? So this is just a way of like naming convention that we have changed here. You can see just we have added here a pound sign before private fields, and it is working inside class. You will be able to use that, but outside that class you cannot access it. Okay, so this is nothing but encapsulation. And wherever you can see, we are not using that pound sign. Those are the private, sorry, public fields. So the same thing if you will add here for methods. So this is normal. You can see this is a public method. if you want to make this one private, simply you can use here hash sign before this. Okay, so if you will use hash sign, no, so previously you were getting, I'm going to comment this one, you were getting that users or user one dot something like that. You can do like user one dot. Okay, here we have show transactions, no, so directly you cannot access because here we have hash before it. See, and if you will use hash, that will not work because that is not a correct property name. Okay, so that's why if you want to make any method or any field private, just you need to use what, a pound sign before that particular field name or method name. Now we are able to access this, so show transactions. See, okay, is that clear? Now if you'll try to change something by using this show transaction dot something, so still you will be able to do that, so that you can avoid here. Just by using this, instead of show transactions, you can call directly that movement or the transactions, whatever you are doing here, in another way. Okay, so this is a private field. Here this is a public method. If you will add a pound sign before this, that will be a private method. So you can restrict any user by using that. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. We can
Okay.
also use public private like written, no?
Where?
Like public simple like public word.
Public keyword generally we do not use here, no?
Okay.
Yeah,
By default, it is public.
by default it is public.
Okay. Okay.
So anyone can access outside this class. Okay. So this is all about your like oops concept that you can use here. Do you have any question now in this one? Anyone? No? Okay, then fine. So now we are going to learn about destructuring. Have you heard of this? Destructuring? No? Himanshu, have you heard of this? Anyone? Any one of you?
Yes, sir. Heard about this, but not remember about definition.
Okay. No, actually, I'm not asking about the
Okay.
definition. If you know the functionality, what we do actually by using this, this is a kind of data structure only. And here we will see what actually we do. So destructuring we can do either with the arrays or objects. Okay. So we will see that. No, no issue. No issue. We will do that. So here we will see the destructuring with array first. Okay. So when to use this destructuring, we will see. Let's say here you have one array, 1 is equal to, okay, here you have 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Like this, here you have one array. Okay, fine. Now if you want to access, let's say, first 3 value of array, what you have to do, Anyone can tell me? Let's say I want to store the first value in one variable, second value in another variable, third value in another variable. After that, I don't want anything. What we can do? Can we write here like this? A is equal to array 1 of 0. Can we write
Yes, sir. It stored one value.
console dot log here A? It is printing what? 1. So we are able to store this one like this. In another variable, we can store another value. So array of 1, and here we have B. Okay. Likewise, third value, we can store array of 2. We know no this index thing and all. So here, if you will print value of A, here you have 1. Now, value of B and C as well. So here you will get A and B. If you will print C, so here you will get 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So this is actually very difficult way to do this. No need to do this one if you are using destructuring. Okay. If you are using destructuring, simply what you can do is you need to write var. Okay. A is equal to, let's say, if we are writing this bracket, right hand side of this assignment operator or equal to sign, it means we are declaring an array. But if we are writing this left hand side of an assignment operator, then that is nothing but kind of destructuring. Okay. So here, if you are writing like this simply, if you are writing like this left hand side and you are using this var keyword, means you are going to declare multiple variables by using var. So simply A, okay, comma B, comma C, means you have declared 3 variable in the form of array. Means this is not an array. In the form of array means collection of variables you are here declaring, and arr1 you are assigning in it. So what it is doing, it is mapping one by one. So in first variable, it is going to take the first value of this array 1. In second variable, it is going to take the second value of this array 1, likewise. So if you will print this one, you will get the same result. Means here we have 3 different variables, A, B, C. Individually, I'm using here C, A, B, C. If you will add like this, A plus B plus C, you will get 6. Okay. So this is the first way that you can do in destructuring. Okay. Simply as many variables you want to declare, you can. And let's say here we have this one A, B, C. What if you want to escape 4, 5, 6, and last one you want to take? What you can do? So simply comma, you are escaping the 4, comma, comma, and then D. Okay. And here I'm going to print simply D. Let's see what it is going to print here. It is going to print what? 7. You skipped 4, you skipped 5, you skipped 6, and 7th here we have as a D. Okay, you can do this one also. Is that clear? Okay, if you want to skip, simply put a comma and it will map one by one, one by one. Okay. So next thing here we have, let's say this is the first way that we have seen for destructuring. Tell me one thing. Here you have console.log. I'm going to just show you the value A, comma B. So in A we have 1, in B we have 2. What if you want to swap these two value? What you are going to do? Tell me, anyone? If you want to swap the value of A and B, means whatever value we have right now. In A we have 1, in B we have 2. What I want? In A it should be 2, in B it should be 1. Just I want to interchange that value. What we can do? We need a third variable called a temporary variable. So temp is equal to A, and then A is equal to temp, sorry, B is equal to B we can write, and B temp is equal to A is equal to B is equal to temp. And now print this one. See, we have changed it, no? So what we did, we have taken third variable. And what is inside A? We have 1. So 1 we have assigned in the temp. Okay. In temp we have now 1. In A we are assigning whatever value we have in B. So in B we have 2. So we have assigned in A. So updated value of A is now 2. And in B we have assigned no value of A initially. So in temp we have 1. So now we are going to assign that temp value in B. So we have changed it. So we don't want this one third variable. Okay. What we can do is simply, here I'm going to use destructuring only. Okay. Destructuring. So what we can do is, here we'll write A comma B. Two variables I'm going to declare. And in this one, I'm going to assign array 1. Means the first value will be 1, second value will be 2. And here, if you will print 2 times, you will get the same value, 1, 2 and 1, 2. But after this, instead of this swap code, what we can write? We can write here B comma A, means first B, then A, is equal to whatever value we have inside A, that should be assigned to B, and whatever value we have inside, 1 second, A comma B. See, here what we did, we have destructured actually. So inside A we have 1, inside B we have 2, 1, 2. And what we have done here, left hand side you have B. So inside A, what value we have? 1. So will be assigned to B. And what is the value of B here right now? 2. The 2 will be assigned to A. So simple, no need of third variable. So swapping also you can do. Okay. So second thing you have seen here, what we can do by using this. Fine. What if you have a nested array then, and you want to destructure this one? So let's say here you have a nested array. Okay, like this. And you want to destructure. What you can do now? Okay, for nested array I'm talking about. So simply what you have to do, where, okay, and let's say here I'm going to write A comma B. Fine, is equal to array. Fine, 1. So you will get just 1 and 2 if you will try to print this one. 1 and 2 you are getting, because it is going to take the first value and second value. But I want what? First value and last value as an array. So first value is okay. Undefined means 1 extra I have added. Okay. So as a first value, you are getting 1, and as a last value you are getting that complete array. Okay, that complete array. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. So you are able to access that. But what if you want to use this 5, 6 and 7 as well as a individual value? So what you can do, add one more array here, and here you can use B comma C comma D, C comma D, and now here print A, B comma C comma D, print this one. So here you will get all those values 1, 5, 6, 7. So you can destructure actually this nested array as well. Okay, is that clear, everyone? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is all about the array destructuring. Now we are going to see how we can use destructuring with objects. Okay, so in real time we use like in React.js, if you will go, or in JavaScript also, we use many times actually these things. When we get like real data from the backend, at the time we use destruction. Now let's say here you have where obj is equal to, okay, first you have, let's say, emp code 1234 comma awards. Here we have like platinum, gold, silver. Okay, three things I'm using here right now, comma. Again, I'm going to use, let's say, here date of joining, May 3, 2016. Okay, so these three things are there in object. Okay, and if you are destructuring, let's say var, okay, here obj, simply you need to assign this one obj. If you want to destructure, let's say you want to take just awards from here and date of joining, what you can do, simply you have to take one object in this form, because that is in the form of object. So simply what you have to do, you need to write the same property name whatever is inside obj. So obj I have assigned same property name. Let's say first I'm taking emp code comma awards. Okay, and I'm going to print it here, console.log first emp code comma awards. We'll see. So we are able to print that. So here we have that emp code and then list of array. Okay, that's fine. But here the same property name is there, but you don't want to use the same property name as it is a variable name. So you can change that one. You can customize that one. Simply what you have to write, you have to put a colon over here, emp. You are writing, let's say emp, just instead of emp code you want to use emp, and instead of awards you are going to use awd. Okay, we'll save this one. Here you are getting emp code is not defined, isn't it? So what we have to do, because we have changed it, so emp and awd. So you can customize like this, so still you are getting this. So you are able to change the, if you have that property name, same property name here you have to use, and later you can just rename it as per your requirement. Okay, this is also one way that you can do. Okay, now here you have awards. Okay, and you want to take just the first one and second one here. So what you have to do here, you have array. Okay, this is an array. So awards here you have, if you will use a comma b, awd is not there. I will print a, you are getting platinum. Okay, if you will print b, you will get gold. So like that also you can destructure. Okay, because this is a form of array, and array destructuring we have seen already. So this is nothing but object destructuring. In case here we are using emp code, I will use name. Okay, and inside name I'm not using anything. Name, emp is not there, so you will get an error. So first what I'm going to print here, name, employee name, and it is not there. So by default property, if you want to send or the value for that particular property, let's say you are getting some data from backend and you are expecting some property, in case if it is not there, uh, then you want to handle that case by using the default properties. Simply you are going to use this one. Okay, name, syntax are invalid, destructuring assignment target. Okay, sorry, that is not the correct way to assign that. So what we have to do is, here in object, first we need to use here equal to sign. Here we have a comma. So here you have an empty name. If you are not getting anything from there, you will get what? John. Okay, you have assigned it here. New variable you have declared. In case if it is there, in case if it is there, so then what you have to do, again you have to use this one, colon, uh, user name. If it is not there, then assign this. So here we do not have any property called username, so I'm going to add it here. Username, user name. The same thing here I'm going to add username. Okay, if it is not there, if I'm writing like this explicitly undefined, here you are getting John, because you are getting here undefined. Steve, one second, name, username is equal to undefined. Username I need to print here. username. What I'm getting here, even though if Steve is there, sorry, John is there, I'm getting what? Steve. If I'm not passing here anything, if undefined, then I'm getting what? John. So in case if you are not getting a proper value from the backend, you can set it here. Otherwise, if you are getting an actual value from the backend, let's say here we have a Steve, in that case you will get a Steve only. So that also we can handle as a default value in object destructuring. Okay. Any question, guys? Here in destructuring, anyone? No. If you are not setting default value here, what will happen here? You will get Steve. And here also, if you'll pass undefined, you'll get undefined. Just to handle that, I was using that thing. Okay. So guys, do you have any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So the last thing for today, we are going to learn about the rest and a spread operator. Okay. Rest and spread. Rest and spread. So we will see first about the spread. So these two things are actually, the name itself is saying are opposite. Rest is nothing but you are combining something. Okay. And a spread means you are expanding it. So here we are going to learn about the first thing is as rest operator. Okay. Rest. So in rest, what we are going to do, let's say here you have one array. Okay. Array one. And here you have 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. Okay. We'll save this one. Fine. Second thing here we have, let's say we have another array where 3 comma 4 here we have. Another array is there called array 2 is equal to one array is there. Let's say here we have 1 comma 2. Okay. Now, what if I want to add the last one here, this last at the end, these two values of this array or the entire array? What you can do here, you can write array 1 of 0 and comma array 1 of 1. Okay. And then if you will try to print here where, sorry, console dot log, simply here if you will print arr1 comma arr2, you will get those things here. So here first one you can see 3 4 and the second one is 1 2 3 4. You are able to do so, but this is not the correct way. Let's say if you have like 10 elements, 20 elements, 100 elements, and you want to add that. So one way is there that we can concatenate. We have that concat method. We have learned about that. Okay. But without using that, what we can do? So we have here one spread operator, and the syntax is simply you need to use three dots. Okay. And then whatever array you want to add here as a comma separated value. I'm saying comma separated value. That array name you need to add here. Result is same. So even though if you are going to add here 4 comma 5 comma 6 7 8 9, whatever value is there, it will take care of all those things. Okay. No need to worry about that. And wherever you want, you can add it. So this is nothing but spreading that value with comma. Okay. The first thing here we have learned. Okay. Now, if you want to simply print that uh, array one value here, see, this is not in the form of array. You're getting actual values. But if you'll try to print simply ARR1, you will get an array. Okay. So here it is giving you just a spreaded form of that one. Simply that value, actual value you are getting. So you can use, this is the first thing that you can make use of that spread operator. Second thing, what if you want to copy an array? Okay. If you want to make a shallow copy, here you have array one, no? I'm going to create var where array 3 I'm going to create here, and I'm going to create a new array, just copy of that array 1. So here, if you will simply assign like this ARR1. So here, if you are going to change letter, because this is a kind of like reference type, okay, data. So if you will change in array 3, it will change here in array 1 also, because these are storing what? Address, references, not actual value. So just to avoid that, if you want to create a shallow copy of an array, simply you can make use of this spread operator. Okay. And now if you will see here, console.log ARR3, that is also the same array. See, 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, like array 1. So we are able to copy also the shallow copy we have created. If you want to join two or more arrays here in array 3, so let's see here, if you have array 1 and then array 2 or more than 2 also. So without using object dot assign, we can make use of this spread operator. Here we need to add one more dot. Then we are able to create a single array just by using this spread operator. We are concatenating actually array 1 and array 2 and creating third array. Even if we will change something in array 3, there will be no impact on this array 2 and 1, because this is a shallow copy. Okay. So you can use these things. And a spread operator you can use just for any iterables like array, string. So let's say here you have uh, console.log. Here we have, let's say, Steve, and you want to just print this one. So each and every character here you are getting individual character. A spread means just it will print in the form of like comma separate value. In this form also you can print. If you will write simply like this, no. So it is going to print in the form of array steve. No need to use a split method. Directly you can use this spread operator, and it is going to split each and every character in the form of array. Okay. And later you can use like this. If you want to join directly, no need to use a split. Directly you can join with dash. See here. So you can make use of a spread operator like this. Do you have any question here? No, no. Okay, fine. The last thing here we are going to learn about today, just give me 2 minutes, about this one was actually a spread. Sorry, a spread. Okay, by mistake I have written here rest. So now we are going to learn about rest operator. Okay, this is nothing but a spread. Now we will learn about rest. So rest is just opposite of what? Spread. The syntax is same. Okay, syntax is same thing we need to use. Let's say here you have var. Okay, destructuring, just now we have seen a comma b. Okay, and here we have one array 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. So tell me what will be the output here. You need to tell me what is the value of a.
1.
1, and value of b, it's 2. Here 1 and 2 you are getting. What if you want to handle after this whatever value is there in another one? So here what you can do, simply you going to use same thing and rest. So rest, whatever value is there, it will be it will be stored inside rest operator. So simply if you'll print rest, that will be in the form of what? Array, and that is a new variable. Here see, it is storing all those remaining values. Okay, so here the first way you can use like this rest operator. Second case is like you have a function. Okay, just 1 minute. Huh? You have a function, let's say add, or here I'm taking just one thing, demo. Okay, and console.log. Okay, console.log rest, and here also I'm going to type as a rest. Now simply if I'll call like this demo, what will be the output? Tell me. You will get undefined. Now second thing, if I have another variant of this demo, like if I'm going to pass just 12, you will get 12. First one is undefined. If you have multiple values 12 comma 23, you will get just 12 12 for last one. 23 it is skipping. So in case if whatever value user is passing you are not aware of, let's say if you have this method name as a add, if you are passing one argument it will show you just 12. If you are passing two arguments it will add those two values and will show you the result. So like that, whatever value you are passing, it is going to show you that result in the form of array. So here you have empty array, here you have 12, here you have 12 and 23. What if you are going to write here as well dot? So here you are getting 12, here you are getting 12 and 23. So this is not actually rest operator. So this is nothing but a spread, because you are spreading this argument, sorry, this parameter value, isn't it? So in this one, in function argument, you can pass a spread operator things, and in function parameter always you need to take what? You need to take rest operator. So let's say here you have a comma rest. So the first thing will be considered as a, and the whatever this remaining argument you are going to pass will be considered as, see here, the first is undefined, a is undefined. Okay, here we have Second case, 12. So 12 is nothing but the value of what in this form. Then you will be able to understand. See here, undefined and empty array. 12 and empty array. If you are passing two here, two values. The first one is 12, second one is 23 will be stored in the rest. If you have 23, comma 34, comma 54, comma 56, so these all value will be stored in C in rest. So you can use rest and a spread operator like this. Okay, if you are not sure like how many arguments user is going to pass, then you can make use of this rest operator. Any question, guys? Anyone? No?